The things people say before we hit the go live button.
Jesus.
And they expect us to be serious. Welcome, everybody, to the Ham Radio Clubhouse. It's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central. Thank you for joining us. Looks like we got about 70 of you joining in here. Man, what a week it's been. And I just want to, there's a couple things that I want to call out here. Mike says we've concluded the ham radio content for this evening, so you may commence with the shenanigans. Well, I hate to tell you, Mike.
No.
This entire show will be ham radio content.
Well,
believe it or not.
99%. There's always that 1%.
Well, the 1% is us getting started.
And screwing up.
It's screwing up.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Joe Brett's going to be late. He's doing, he has a undercover mission from the FBI that he's taking care of. So he will be a little late tonight, but he said he will join us. Tonight we have a fantastic guest, Bob. KD4BMG will be with us, the HOA ham. Looking forward to that. Fantastic YouTube channel. Link is down in the description if you'd like to drop him a subscription. I know he would appreciate that. Thanks to everybody in green, our channel supporters. Y'all are amazing. We have thanks to all of your support, we have this fantastic giveaway coming up on the 200th show. 200th show. We're at 191. And I want to we need to pause for a moment because Andy Cowley is in the house.
We need to have
23
him
months.
Guess what? He needs to be on the 200th show. Andy?
I agree. He's been supporting us for 23 months. He's almost got that coveted shield icon.
I want to know more about this guy. I want to know what he does.
We sent him a radio. He won a radio and a drawing. So, yeah, would love to see it. He's not a bot.
He's not a bot.
Every freaking stream.
Good evening, Bob. Anyway. Member for 23 months as well. Mike, member for 23 months. I got that crown. You're about to get a shield. You're at 23 months. Mm-hmm. I was looking through when I was doing the intro, the splash screen that's got everybody's names on it. I was looking through how many people were at 23 months. And we have like a giant list of people who are going to drop into that 2-year mark here really quick. I'm looking forward to it. Who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Nope. I haven't.
Yep.
Renee Six is here. Congratulations. Welcome.
Hey, Mr.
Welcome to the shenanigans. Got Ham Radio 2, Mike. Thanks for joining us again. Paul, remember for 5 minutes. Can't stay the whole time, but do great things. We'll do our best.
Now, I want to know how he felt getting thrown out of an airplane.
He needs to come in and chit chat about that with us maybe in a couple of weeks.
Back. Yep.
There we go. So. Greg says I screwed up his call sign. Greg, I will take care of that. It will not be the first time that I've screwed up somebody's call sign. But anyway,
all the time.
Absolutely, because an O and a 4, that's a 0 and a 4. Come on.
Yeah.
You need to get a vanity call sign.
I get too much shit with my call sign already.
Whatever. Izzo, how's your week been, man?
It's been good. I wrote some things down to talk about. And it's not about me. So
before we get with our guest, or after are we?
No. Let's just knock this out because Joe Brett likes to laugh. Joe, you know something? Talking about friendship and now family. You know your friendship when you could talk about anything, but you know your family when you can start gut punching each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And Joe Brett gut punched me about quarter zip sweatshirts and tops because I love them. I'm a job shirt kind of a guy. Quarter zips can be dressed up a little nice for like.
That's right. Especially with a good logo on them.
A good Clubhouse logo maybe that you'll see me. But that effing Joe Brett thinks he's funny. He's funny.
He is funny.
He's funny looking. That's what he is.
He is funny. All right, so a couple things. Let's get serious. Tonight's cigar.
I bet it's an inch.
Now, I had a problem with these, and this was my fault. Humidors for me are a pain in the neck from October to April because of the humidity changes in the house. The central air conditioning is off, so nothing is steady anymore. My local lounge was doing something different, talking about humidors, and I was doing everything right. It's not me; it's where I live. So it's sell the house and move, which we're not, because we're putting tons of money into it. I
told you to come to Texas.
I know, but nobody.
We got a lot of moisture here.
I wanted
those
to go,
cigars don't dry out.
I wanted to go to the South Pole, but nobody supported that one. Okay.
Actually, you'd be the DX.
I don't care.
Right?
I just want to talk to the penguins all day, have a cigar, work the radio. I'll work in the kitchen. I'll
Would a cigar stay lit on the South Pole?
Tell you, yes, they will.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they will.
But I'll stir the
South
soup.
Carolina,
I'll
talk to the monkeys.
I'll be in charge of entertainment. Whatever. Anyway, so I switched over to these acrylic, airproof canisters.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out you can use anything. It doesn't have to be acrylic. It could be glass. Anything that a mason jar, for crying out loud. My cigars have a whole new taste now with the Bovita pack.
Oh,
this thing is, if this was a woman right now, oh my God.
I don't want to know. I don't want that detail. I don't need
so
that.
that's number one. Very, very importantly, a couple weeks ago, we had the group from Rotuma.
The DX expedition folks.
Yep. We got a message from Connor. They left the United States today.
Yep.
So in about 56 hours, that was back 8 hours ago. Yeah. They were en route going west or going east, depending on which way. Yeah, west, depending on which way the earth turns and where you are and this and that, and whether the sun is shining. If you have any questions regarding the expedition, go to your Google. Okay, it's over by Fiji. It's one of the islands over in the Fiji area, that Fiji region.
It's really nice.
3 Delta 2 Yankee. Put them in your ham alert. Probably by Saturday, maybe Friday night, but Saturday.
Well, you can put them in their ham alert now, so that you don't have to remember it. So while Izzo's telling you what to put in there, make sure it's in there so that you guys
go
can get
to our show. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, the October 29th show discussed this whole expedition. Great group. You want to donate a few bucks to them? Listen, folks, I know times are hard for all of us in America. I get it. You got $5 or $10. I took cigar money and I threw it up to them. Yep. This is a wonderful group doing some wonderful things for our hobby, and they're going to be on all the bands. This is not just a CW thing. This is a side band, an FT8 thing. They're going to try 6 meters. They're going to go all the way down to probably to 180 or to 80 to 160. Who knows? Try working them, man, because right now, man, we're at the top of the cycle. This is it. NASA and the other gurus who work these solar cycles have determined we're top dog high right now. So
I don't think we are. I think we got a little bit more to go than what we topped out. But that's just my own non-professional opinion.
Maybe you know something more than all of us.
But there is some really cool aspects to that expedition. They're going to have some of those RIB radios that are using Starlink for some remote operations, so some kids can get on the air using those remote stations that are down in that expedition. So I think I want to get them in my log on a couple different bands. So Steve, make sure that your radio's back and turned on.
So about that, great segue. Guess what arrived today?
Hopefully a 7610 with a fixed port.
The 7610.
Wow, congratulations.
Well, I mean, with his beam, I mean, I can point that pretty much at anybody and reach out and touch someone with some RF. So,
and I'm going to crank it up a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit higher in the air.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the radio. I was like, did you get a heater for that? A shack heater?
There may be a shack heater.
Oh, damn!
We only need 500 watts. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
this is Rotuma. This is Rotuma. You're 5'9", Steve. Where are you, South Carolina?
Here's the problem. I
don't hear any problems.
I'm trying to talk to our good buddy Richard about doing a swap.
Okay, Richard, do it.
A bunch of the stuff I have in the other room.
Okay.
For a Expert 1.5.
All right. Does that include all the Christmas stuff too? In the other room, all the Christmas stuff.
Oh,
yeah, he wants decorations. That's what he wants.
That's what he wants. He wants
That would be a divorce.
Let's see, 1.5 with. Wait, we'd have to dial that thing would have to come back because we can't put out more than 1.5 on the 10 dB gain antenna.
Sure. Okay.
Otherwise, they'll say we're coming from Italy.
We will be. Long path.
Right.
1.21
around the world,
gigawatts. around the equator twice.
Steve says, James says, Steve, are you also sharing your Netflix login with Shane? No, you can't do that anymore. I have my own damn Netflix. Thank you so much.
Real quickly. Wait a minute. Time out. Netflix. I forgot to mention this. Friday night. Now, I'm not a big boxing fan.
Oh, God. Okay. That's going to be a joke.
I may have to bet you a cigar, my friend.
I will take that bet.
Who do you like?
I think Mike Tyson's going to put that little kid on the mat.
I do
put
too.
Him to sleep.
Okay. I found out it's only 8 rounds. I thought it was going to be 15. It's only again.
He's
I'm not.
58.
He's my age. I'm
3.
Right.
No,
he's not gonna. 8 rounds is plenty. He don't gonna need but 2.
I think
one to show and one to put him to sleep.
I think it'll all be done in 4. That's my prediction.
Probably so, yeah. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Jake Paul, YouTuber, has decided to challenge Mike Tyson to a fight, and they're going to put it on Netflix. So and they always say, as you age, the last thing to go is your power. And if that's the case, Jake Paul is going to be getting punched by a semi-truck. So yes. I hope he's ready for that.
No longer a freight train. He's down to a semi-truck.
He's down to a semi-truck.
Okay.
Oh, but still, the man is still incredible.
Absolutely.
You don't mess with the old guy. You do not. Okay, maybe longevity will huff and puff a little bit, but man, when we come in and pow, look out.
And they're doing it here in Dallas, here at the AT&T Stadium.
AT&T Stadium, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You're going?
No. I'm going to watch it on TV like I do F1.
I was going to say, the beer's a whole lot cheaper at home.
Yeah, exactly. And the views are much closer for a lot cheaper.
I'm no big boxing fan. I'm not I don't follow. I remember some of the greats. I remember Ali when I was a kid and George Foreman. And then there was the George Foreman grill. I remember all that stuff, okay? But this was a very interesting one. I just think Tyson's going to do it. So
I hope so.
Hey,
I hope he shows it up.
What do I know? Listen, if you believe everything I say, go buy yourself a lotto ticket, and we can all have 76 10s and amplifiers. Everyone's going to get one, just like Oprah. You come to the show, you come to the club,
we're going to get 77 60s.
Right.
Whatever you all want. Whatever you guys want.
So you're talking about Foreman. His last fight, he was age 48. George Foreman's last fight.
Wow.
So telling you, and Tyson looks good. I've seen several. There's a couple of documentaries coming that are out right now of this whole thing that's going down. Tyson looks good. So I'm hoping that.
Now, see, I'm afraid to tell him
he takes care of business.
I'm afraid to tell him this because I'm afraid he's going to punch the lights out of me. But you know that movie with
totally, Mike.
What was where they got lost? They lost a friend at the bachelor party. What was that? Then they went to Vietnam. What was that show? That movie? Come on, chat, help me out. I'm having a brain fart.
You lost me on that one.
Tyson had a cameo in the first movie.
Hangover?
The Hangover. The first one.
Yeah. Where they stole his lion or
they stole the lion.
Yeah. See,
I would be like, hey, Mike, where's your lion? No, man. He'd be like, come over. I got your lion over here. Bam. I won't be able to have a cigar for a month, maybe 2 months.
So here's my prediction. Here's my prediction. So Jake Paul has been kind of a lean kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And for this fight, because Mike's still a heavyweight, he beefed up. He gained he's at 220, 230 pounds.
Correct.
So he's new to boxing and carrying around 230 pounds. But Mike's been carrying around 230 pounds for years.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I'm a fat guy.
I think Mr. Jake Paul is going to get tired from really quick. And Tyson's going to be like, welcome to the ring, son.
Welcome to the jungle.
Exactly.
Anyway,
no, that's right. I digress.
That is an
Eye of the tiger.
I'm a fat guy. You're absolutely right. I'm a fat guy. So, you know something? I know what it's like. I know what it's like to huff and puff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We can carry it on for a while.
Another one to the list for Will and Redneck. Thanks for being there for 23 months. Thank you so much. Steve, over to you, my friend. Now that Izzo and I took away the show for
I'm sorry,
15
Steve.
minutes.
Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I've actually been under the weather since last Tuesday. So I've gotten nothing done this weekend. But like I said, 7610 just showed up. It'll get put back on the desk tomorrow because I'm working from home tomorrow. And should be back on the air by tomorrow afternoon.
So you can get Shane in your logbook.
Pretty much.
It is a blast to use.
Well,
I can't say how much thank you for that, because I wouldn't have Callum in my logbook if it wasn't for your beautiful station. Several times.
I land in Honolulu Monday at 4:00 Hawaii time.
Monday at 4:00. That's 6 hours from Central, I think.
Something like that.
It'll be 10 p.m.
My plan is to check into the hotel and head to a park.
All right.
So, guys, put Steve's call sign in your ham alert. So, Hawaii is a hard state to get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe.
I'm gonna start on 10 meters.
There you go. Start from the bottom, work your way up.
Yep.
About a 6-hour difference.
Ryan says unplug the stove. No, because if he wants to I could preheat it for him. The missus might appreciate know what his station sounds
we'll
like.
Have a child lock on.
Right? Have the child lock on. Anyway. So what date do you land in Hawaii?
Monday the 18th.
Monday the 18th. All right. So everybody make sure you have Steve in your ham alert.
Now, Steve, are you spending Thanksgiving out there, or?
No, I come home Friday. I don't land back here till Saturday because apparently the flights back to the U.S. are overnight flights.
Yep. It's a 6-hour thing.
So if something happens, Shane, and you get a phone call from DFW saying, come pick my ass up.
That's how you get the text. That's how you get into Texas.
Right?
My flight back is actually coming through DFW.
Nice. So you have a 10-minute layover?
Probably, which is going to suck.
No, the quicker you get home, the quicker you get over that jet lag. That's a lot of crossing time zones out there.
Oh, yeah.
So Don says Hamstick Eric has been pretty active in Hawaii, but he's working at an undisclosed location. So hopefully you ever in chats with him.
I do need to reach out to him.
Greg says, Shane, you need to make contact with Steve on his 7610. That's the plan.
That is the plan.
That is the plan.
Let him know what his jack sounds
from
like.
Yeah, so he can hear what it sounds like with this mic going through the interwebs to his location. Let's see. Lee says, what island are you going to?
I will be on Honolulu.
Are you gonna go around to different ones?
No, I don't know that I'll have that much time.
Well, Southwest does a lot of inter-island flights that are cheap, and they're always open.
Send me a buddy pass.
All right.
I don't have buddy passes.
Are you going to all right, fast round of questions. You going to get a Hawaiian shirt?
Of course.
Is it going to have the Clubhouse logo on it?
I don't know if I can get it that quick.
You can't.
Darn.
I'm still waiting on my coffee mug.
Are you going to have a pineapple drink?
Maybe.
Add tequila with it. Crushed ice. Yes, absolutely.
On Tuesday night? That might be a little early.
Are you going to go to a pig roast?
Probably.
A
luau.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Is it a work trip or a fun trip?
It's a work trip.
Ah.
So
you can go to a luau on the government's dime.
Is Dana coming with you?
No.
Oh, man.
Now you can really go to a luau.
Well,
now you can really get a lay. And I'm talking about the flowers.
You get one of those when you get off the airplane, Izzo.
Just found out that the guy that I'm supposed to be working with is not going to be there.
All by myself.
Yep.
There
Which
you go.
means it can get done quick.
More
radio time.
More ham radio time. Because you don't have no drag ass behind you, or just send them to the bar. That's what you do. You send them to the bar.
So Jody says my HRC mug shipped via UPS. Now I'm fearing the random $35 brokerage fee. Ah, that sucks.
Ugh.
Need to get with Molson because I guess Molson has someone in the U.S. or an address in the U.S. that he has things shipped to, and somehow it ends up over in.
Just go hang out with Scout 75. Just cross the border.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Just hop across the border.
Just go to the dumpster fire.
That's where it all begins.
That's where it all begins.
But thank you to those who have placed an order. I did get a couple of emails. Izzo, of course, the number one consumer of the new Ham Radio Clubhouse material. So thank you for that.
Not me.
Hopefully, you got the quarter zip, man. You're the only one with a quarter zip. I've got some long sleeve. I've got some coffee mugs and stickers. So the quarter zip gave you away.
It should be. I think it'll be here on Thursday, Friday. So if you see me Tuesday wearing it, you know it came in. That's all. And I'm not gonna say. Don't tell Joe Brett. Don't say nothing to Joe Brett. I'm just gonna show up.
He's watching the show. You know he is.
No, he's not. He's doing work stuff right
now. I was just checking my tracking to see when my mug is supposed to. So it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Local post office exception. So the U.S. Postal Service has messed with my mug.
I bought a couple stickers because I put my 871. I built out a 50 caliber ammo can, and I put that as a go box. So drilled a couple holes, this and that, and I needed some stickers. So threw a tank radio sticker on there and a quirky.
That's 3DB there, right there.
Just Frank alone is. That's right.
All right, so this still says it's supposed to be delivered tomorrow, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It was like I like this. The mug turned out well. The drawings of the mug turned out really good.
If I drank coffee, I would have got a mug.
Why do we have shorts on there?
So because Izzo was talking about wanting boxers, and I couldn't find the hemp boxers, so I was like, well, the next best thing would be the jersey shorts. So I put the Clubhouse logo on.
I didn't know that. I gotta go place another order now. Yeah, I didn't know that. Are you serious?
So yes, there's shorts in there. Steve, you want to share the store?
Yeah, hang on.
So the link, for those of you who are watching, the link is down there. It says new merch, and then down below there is a link to click on to go to the shop. And I got really bored at work, and I was just like, oh, that would look good on this. Oh, that would look good on that. Oh yeah, that would look good on this. So I'm not. See, there you go. Now $36. That's expensive.
Now, guys, you don't have to have that color. You can customize that. That's the beauty of this stuff. You can make it.
There's 3 colors available for that one.
Yep. Man, look at that.
Great for upcoming, Christmas and Hanukkah and all these other kind of gift season stuff coming up. Guess what? And National Canadian Day. Don't they give gifts besides maple syrup and bacon? There you go, folks.
Look at this. Look at this guy. The guy who won't show up, but he's complaining because we don't have our guest on tonight.
Well, we have gone.
He's on the way. He's on the way, Joe Brett.
Yeah, he's testing Joe Brett. He's testing his OBS.
God, we need to talk about these prices, Shane.
I'm gonna go. Which one is crazy? I'm gonna go change it right now because the one that I paid attention to, the prices was a little crazy. Because I tried to change it to where everything was like $1 profit, so I could put $1 into the Clubhouse. Shop pricing. All right, so which one are you looking at? The full zip?
Yeah, the Under Armour Men's Command Full Zip 2.0.
Well, that's Under Armour. What do you expect?
Am I going to get a disc? Am I going to get a coupon now?
No,
because I bought.
No. It is 22% off through. Well, it expired yesterday. Never mind.
Oh, of course.
Your work.
Let's see. Full zip. That's Gildan. This is riveting content, folks.
Yeah, it is.
I'm telling you. Shane talking about prices here.
Great, man. Yes, you can customize. It is amazing what
everything's customizable.
Yeah, everything is customizable.
Oh, the one that's $79?
Yeah.
Well, that's Under Armour.
Let me fix that.
I was gonna say it's Under Armour. You could have just told me that. I
it's good quality. Under Armour, man. I wear a lot of it. That's what I'm wearing right now, folks.
I've updated the price on that. So, unfortunately, I can't go any lower than that because that's like my cost. So, But like I said, if there's something you want to order that's not in there and the price seems outrageous, it's probably because I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, and this is their pricing. So just send me a message on Discord, links down below, and I'll look at the pricing and make sure I can adjust that for you.
Anybody wants stickers? Stickers.
I think some of their stuff. I've got those down to like what? Those are like 99 cents, right?
Jimmy, they're stickers. I'm just saying, people always say they want
and they're
stickers.
Good stickers. Well, they're good stickers.
They're good ones. It's a brand new logo sticker.
Yeah, so all the coffee mugs I've dropped down to like the lowest price that I can get them. I will say I put one hat on there, but the hat that I ordered I wasn't really happy with. So
buyer beware.
Yeah, buyer beware. That's we've got another cap coming. I'm working with another company to do a really high quality hat on that. So, yeah. Dom over there on Twitch says, "Quit yelling." I'm not yelling, dude. When are you going to stream? Because you haven't streamed in ages. So, come on. My alert hasn't went off. But anyway, so over there in Spreadshirt, if there's something that you would like that doesn't have it on there, it's on there. Or you can customize it. If there's a big like logo on a shirt and you want to shrink it down to one side and put your name on the other side, you can. All of it's 110% customizable. So anyway, that's my sales pitch. If you'd like to contribute, that'd be great. We were going to do a giveaway coming up this month, but we postponed that because we want to do a really, really, really big giveaway for the 200th show. So guess what, Beer Snack? I made that decision. So save the money that you had allocated for this month, and we'll do it next month.
Yeah, just roll it over.
Yeah, we'll roll it over.
There we go.
Are we done? Is that it?
Well, what do you got going on?
Yeah, it's me. Going on? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not making any videos. If that's
2 minutes or less.
Oh, that's easy. Not making any videos. Work sucks, and I'm flying on Thursday. Like I PTO'd. I saw the forecast.
1 out of 3 straight.
Yeah, I PTO'd Thursday because the forecast for the entire day looked flyable. We have 40-something people on Thursday morning that want to fly. So we have 42 people to do rides on. So
wow.
There you go.
Dom, you need to find another game, man. DCS is okay, but just saying. Maybe you should join the rest of us and play Call of Duty. For those of you who wonder, I'm talking to, he's Dom Noms over on Twitch. So thankfully, Twitch is working and people are actually showing up in Twitch because they're popping up in the chat. But anyway, so Thursday, I'm going to crew Thursday morning for some friends of mine who are doing rides, get those done. And then Thursday afternoon, I'm going to fly. So I'll get a video put together for that. Almost done with my written test. And then my practical is set up for just shortly after that. So hopefully, knock on wood, fingers crossed, before 2025, I will be certified.
You're already certifiable, so.
Well, I mean certified to fly balloons.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
You're certified in our books. Asshole.
Right. You jerk. Well, we have a guest tonight, and we're almost at the bottom of the hour, so let's work on that. Bob, give me a thumbs up if you're done drinking and you're ready to go. So, Bob, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Ham Radio Clubhouse. We have Bob KD4BMG, also known as the HOA Ham. Welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Hey, thanks a lot. I'm going to skip out now. Izzo said maple syrup and bacon, so I'm out of here. I'm going to go make some breakfast.
He's like,
and those were the magic words to drive a man out.
That was it.
Where you going, to Waffle House?
Wherever. Somewhere. Now I'm hungry.
Wait, they have maple syrup at Waffle House? I'm shocked.
Yes, they do.
Does it come with a side of cigarette ashes?
Oh, absolutely.
And there was also, I don't know if you saw this, but there was something on TikTok the other day where someone, I guess the staff at a Waffle House had fallen asleep. So he went and made his own breakfast and filmed it.
So, yeah. Shit. Oh, I would love to see that.
I was going to say, if the Waffle House is clean, you're in the wrong one.
Yeah,
all
exactly. Well, welcome, Bob. How are you, man?
Doing fantastic. Appreciate you guys having me on. Looking forward to it's already been 30 minutes of fun. I was telling the guys before the show, I've gotten congratulations from some of my viewers and subscribers. I've gotten condolences and thanking me for taking one for the team, but it's always a blast on this live stream. So glad to be here tonight.
So this is not Coffee and Ham Radios. We're really relaxed and we talk we talk about whatever comes up. So welcome to the mess.
Nothing is off limits.
Nothing is off limits. Well, I'm going to get this started because this is a question that I have had myself, but I know that you're the HOA Ham. I know that you do YouTube, but I don't know how you got started in the hobby. So what kind of brought you before all the HOA stuff? What got you into ham radio, and is it something in the family, or kind of what's the backstory there?
Yeah, nothing at all in the family. I'm a kind of an organized type A overachiever type person. It'll probably take 10 to 15 years off of my lifespan. I have no doubt about that. But so being prepared for all kinds of situations, that's just the way I think. And so probably 10 years ago, I bought 2 Bofang UV5Rs. And of course, then I'm prepared, right? Knew nothing about them, didn't know what to do with them. They went into a drawer. I figured if SHTF happened, I'd pull out the Bofangs and I would be able to communicate.
So you can say the shit hits the fan here. It's the Clubhouse. Yep, We're used to it. So you don't have to hold back.
Don't have to hold back. So I think probably sometime mid 2019, I had a commute. I'm still employed by the same company I was then, but COVID kind of sent me remote, and I've been a hybrid employee since. So I'm kind of on site, off site sometimes. But I had about an hour commute each way, and one day I thought I'm going to take this little radio. I'm going to figure out how to use it. And so I don't know what YouTuber it was. I don't even think they're on anymore, but somebody walked me through Chirp and I figured out how to program it with the repeaters that would be on my route. And here's what happened. I'm in Tampa Bay. So I would basically drive from Palm Harbor, which is on the west side of Tampa. And I would go towards the center of Tampa, an hour commute. And I was hearing people on my UV5R with Australian accents and British accents. And I'm going, what the heck? I didn't know it then, but they were on the wind system. I think the wind system is out there in California. So I was picking up somebody's repeater that was connected to a hotspot that was on the wind system. So this just blew me away, totally intrigued me. And I would say that's what hooked me. Before I got my ticket, that intrigued me, led me to the next thing. I got an FTM 600 installed into my truck. Then that just led me further down the path. And then as COVID was approaching, I had already gotten my tech early 2019. And I said to my wife, I think, you know what, we need to get something a little bit more robust for communication, something that lets me get out a little bit further than an HTM and supply chain management, risk management. So I kind of saw what was coming before the rest of, I should say the general population saw what was coming on COVID. Right. And I thought, I'm going to get one radio and one radio only in my life. So I want a Shack in the Box. I picked up a 991A. And of course, I can't count how many radios I've purchased since
what
then.
A lie. What
we see a lot of them over your shoulder
there. I don't want
to
say it out loud. I don't want it on the record.
No one's watching the show. No one's watching.
No one's watching. There's not 105 people watching. You're good.
So
clear your soul. Clear your soul.
The ham radio. Well, I actually don't know how many I have.
That's an honest answer.
It would be 5 minutes of silence for me to think through and count them all. So, you know, watching a lot of the YouTubers back then, I see Mike KMRD is on. Josh, you know, I'm skipping names here really quick. Some of the guys that aren't as popular maybe now today as they were a couple of years ago. And your tastes change over time as you get educated, etc. So that's kind of how I got educated. I am self-taught and YouTube taught. And so it was emergency preparedness that got me into ham radio. Now it's the whole gamut. It's a way of life. It's kind of it's a passion. It's an obsession.
Now it's fun.
It's an obsession.
It's
what it is.
Yeah.
And
because I'm one of those, I was a tech up until COVID, and then I got my general during COVID because I had to figure out something to do to get outside the house. So, so it's interesting. I would love to know how many people who had been a tech for ages, and then all of a sudden when COVID came around said, you know what, I should probably upgrade so I can go do this POTA thing, because there's this guy in Michigan that was making these videos that showed us going outdoors and playing radio. That's one of the reasons I got my General.
He was wearing a hockey jersey.
He was wearing a hockey jersey, yeah.
Hockey jersey, not a
we can blame Mike for all this. We're all Mike's redheaded stepchildren.
Yeah, we follow Mike into the fire.
Right.
That's right. Exactly.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So to answer the question, how I got into YouTube, what was that transition from ham radio into YouTube? And by the way, I do a whole lot less ham radio now personally and for fun now that I'm a YouTuber. It's hard to find time to play with the radios when you're doing YouTube. Full-time employed. My wife and I help out with some local charities. I've got grandkids, so it's really tough to balance all that. But what got me started in YouTube was this. It's not HOA. That's where I landed. But that's not what
God, we would have lost the bet.
Right.
So I picked up an IC705 and I wanted the ability to put it with the tuner. And so I picked up an XPA 125B, and I saw lots of videos where people would demonstrate using those two together and talking about, the functionality and going from your 10 watts to your 100 watts output using that XPA 125B. No one would turn that freaking thing around and let me see how they connected it. And everyone was talking in chats and forums, afraid to plug that thing into the IC705, afraid they'd let the smoke out. So I had to figure it out on my own, and I did. And then I thought to myself, well, if I went through this and figured it out on my own, more people have this question. Make some videos. I can do that.
Absolutely.
So I made a couple of videos, and then I got hooked on that. And
that's where the next addiction begins.
The next addiction. Yeah, my studio setup has changed at least a half a dozen times. I'm on my fifth selfie cam, not because they've all burnt out, but because I kept getting a better one over and over again. But,
and you don't live stream all of your stuff as long form video, right?
Yeah, I don't live stream just because of time. I just don't have the time to do it, and so I do relish these opportunities to, come on other individuals and groups live stream. So thanks for that. But
you bet.
So if I'm going to have a YouTube channel, I have to have a name, and I'm thinking to myself at that point, I'm a ham. I live in an HOA. That's catchy. Put a porker up there for your logo, HOA ham. I still wasn't thinking or making the connection at helping other ham radio operators operate in the confines and restrictions of an HOA. That kind of came a couple of months into it. And now that is a major focus of the channel. And I just have a blast with that because I find all kinds of ways to make it happen. And so that's the fun of it for me, is coming up with some new crazy idea that in reality, it's a piece of metal that radiates. Find a way to disguise it, hide it, put it in something, behind something, around something, make it part of your home, and do it safely. And it may not be as perfect as an antenna that's in free space, but nonetheless, I still have no problem making contacts around the world.
You're on the air. That's the thing.
I have done Hawaii. I've hit Hawaii.
Yeah,
I've heard Hawaii. I've hit Hawaii from Palm Harbor, Florida, multiple times.
Nice. I'll tell you, as an audience member, I see the fun, you see the products, and I go back to the fun and sometimes the simplicity. But if you want to dive deep, you do sort of lead people when you talk about Whisper, because I really don't know anything about Whisper. I don't care to know about it right now. But I know if the bug ever bites, you and a few other guys are ones who I will want to revisit your channel. This is a wonderful world of YouTube, and it creates the library. It's all there. But you do it with such fun, Bob. I think that's really other guys try and they just don't have it. I gotta ask a secret, if you could tell us a secret. Sometimes when I'm watching a 7 to 12 minute video, some guys are very good. I really don't see any editing. Sometimes I can catch it, other times I can't.
Okay.
I think a lot of times you get it in 3 or 4 runs, and that's it. Am I right? Or what's happening? Are you like the Wizard of Oz? And don't ask me questions behind the curtain, because
you don't see all the editing tape on the floor. Yeah.
Well, then
You don't
save
see all
the
the-
B-roll.
yeah.
Then that's where I say someday put up all the B-rolls or throw some B-roll in there. That's fun shit. That's fun, man. That even shows us even
Mistakes
more
are fun.
how real you really are in that backyard. That's my point. You know what I mean?
Well, so there's a couple of things. One, you don't see all the B-roll, you don't see all the mistakes, the cuts. I do a lot of voiceover, and I combine voiceover with live. So I'll be doing my voiceover in front of my camera, just like I am now, and then I'll cut in and out of that voiceover. So you can see I'm really here. I'm talking with you. This isn't all voiceover, but I tend not to do microphone out in the backyard or in the field unless I have to. It's just my style. Of course, that's one of the other great things about YouTube is there's a lot of styles to fit the the person doing the creation. And then there's a lot of styles for people because people have preference. Some people hate voiceovers. Well, they're not one of my subscribers because that's a very heavy part of my content.
And you do. I've always said that you do you, and it works.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Along with any drone shots, with all your drone shots come in. I think it's
they're
great.
not drone shots. They're not.
The secret here.
Secret.
What do you want? A 20?
It's
what do
a
you want?
camera on a 20-stick selfie. It's 20-foot selfie pole.
Is your wife? Is your wife up there on the roof?
She's a helicopter pilot.
The helicopter.
So I've been in supply chain management for 35 years. So I'm a director of strategic sourcing. I do executive summaries every day of the week. So I'm used to getting very concise in my information and presenting it. That just rolls over into my personal life and into my YouTube life. That's part of it. The secret to the drone shots and anyone watching that's interested in making the investment, that is a Insta360 X4. It is a 360 camera on a 20-foot. I don't know if it's 20-foot selfie stick. It's a freaking long selfie stick.
It's huge. Yeah, exactly.
There is a lot of post editing if you're going to use an X360 camera. If I'm out of my shack, I've got 4 or 5 cameras in here. If I'm outside my shack, it's almost 100%. It's 90% on an X360 camera.
Oh wow!
And then I'm doing a lot of post editing because if you've never used a 360 camera, it is exactly what it says. It picks up 360 degrees of the frame the entire time you're shooting it.
You got to choose what to use.
You have to learn what angles to put that thing on, or you end up with some pretty weird looking stuff.
Yeah, Joe Brett tried to use one as a webcam last week, and it didn't go so well.
They can be challenging.
There's a learning curve. Have the neighbor putting the laundry out on the clothesline.
So my drone shots are not drone shots. There's a secret.
They're drone shots. We're just going to tell everybody they're drone shots, even though you heard it here. It's not. It's still a drone shot. It looks great. And you do some really good practical information, like backyard portable. So that is POTA within it, without having to go to a park. If you don't have the space, go to your local. It doesn't necessarily have to be a POTA park. Go to your local park and just put something up. Just get it on the air. Talk to people who are doing POTA. Just call CQ.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to be in that, but that's what I enjoyed about your content is just it's very practical.
Yes.
And you can use it, in any situation, whether it's an HOA or not. Now, the flagpole was kind of cool. I really I thought that I got a kick out of that one.
Well,
and then the wire antenna that you've ran up that's been up there for quite some time that the HOA is like, nope, it's just a guy for the flagpole.
Yeah, I've got a flagpole mast, a chameleon POTA mast that flies a flag. I'm allowed to have a flagpole in the HOA, and I've got a 30-foot random wire on it. And that's my station referencing antenna. All I could get up is 30 feet. I have a small lot. So 30 feet, I obviously am not getting on lower bands. I struggle on 40, 80 is out of the question. 20 and up, it's just fantastic. Yeah. And then hey, Bob, I think go ahead.
When you chose that property, you were not a ham when you were living there, correct?
That is a correct statement. I was not a ham when I was living there.
Okay. Did you
when I purchased it?
Okay. And when you don't have to give us all the 100% details, did you move there or were you on another part? Were you living in Florida or another state and then you moved there? Just like from a timeline standpoint. Sure.
Yeah.
How did that?
So I'm probably, let's see, in Florida now, probably a little over 30 years. I'm 61. half my life was in southeastern Pennsylvania, Philadelphia Eagles fan, and the other half has been here in Florida. I first moved to Ocala, Florida, then to the Orlando area, a little outskirt of Orlando called West Chase, and then Winter Spring. Sorry, West Chase was a move down towards Tampa. So now we've been in Tampa for about 10 years. I say Tampa Bay. I live in Palm Harbor. It's just it's considered Tampa Bay, but it's not Tampa the city. So I've lived in this home for about 7 years. I was not a ham radio operator when I purchased this home. If I were selling this home and purchasing another one today, would I move into an HOA? It's quite possible. I've lived in homes that have been governed by homeowners associations probably for the last 15 years of my life. And if you want me to go off on HOAs and people who complain about HOAs, I don't do it on my channel because I don't want to lose subscribers. I'll be happy to do it on your show.
Because most people here hate HOAs too. So you're amongst family. It's okay.
You can hate HOAs. But leave me alone. It's my life choice. It's protecting my single largest investment in my life. And I don't want the guy next door to me opening a 5-minute oil change. I don't want a guy on the other side of me opening a dog kennel. I don't want the person across the street opening a fast food place.
Interesting perspective.
That is a very good perspective.
Nobody has ever said that.
No one says anything positive about it.
Look at it from the other side in versus outside.
Yeah.
Right. Well, listen, again, it's different strokes for different folks. It's just like ham radio channels and YouTube in general. We all have preferences, and that's okay. But it's also okay for me to prefer to live in an HOA. Now, I've lived in some HOAs that I would never move back into because they are stupid strict.
Right.
Hey, you didn't pull your trash can in. It was picked up 6 hours ago. 6 minutes ago. Hey, shut up. Leave me alone. I'll get my trash can when I want to get my trash can. So there are some that are extremes, and you can end up with some neighbors that are a real problem. But I've lived in multiple houses now, probably three of the 4 HOAs that I've lived in, homes I've lived in within an HOA. Not a problem at all. You have to be careful about if you're going to, start operating with ham radio antennas. So we can talk about that if you want to. But my take on my channel is when my videos that do the best are videos that show people how to operate stealth in the HOA. Why is that? Because in the United States of America, if you want to live anywhere near a large city, you are likely going to be forced to live in a homeowners association. There are more ham operators moving into homeowners associations because their job requires them to live in a place like that. They have no choice.
Right.
And so to think that HOAs are going away is absolutely incorrect. The exact opposite is happening. More people are moving into HOAs. And it's interesting. People want to, because people want their single largest investment in their life protected.
To be protected.
If you live here in Tampa Bay, if you lived in an area where the properties were 2 acres, 3 acres, 5 acres, who wants an HOA? Right? You're far enough away from your neighbor. It really doesn't matter what they do.
Yeah, so but Bob, I think as hams, let me just interrupt for a minute, because you bring up a valid point. But our hobby, if you're going to participate in this hobby, let's just call it what it is, guys. You got to have a little bit of planning and some strategy here of what you're going to do. Now, I have not been in an HOA. I lived in a condo when I first got licensed, and luckily I was on an N unit. Stuff went out into the woods. I presented it to them. I called it the invisible antenna. I chose my buzzwords, and all they cared about was, is it going to cause interference to my telephone and cable back then? This is like back in 1990, 1991, right? I said no. And if it does, I said, I will buy whatever it takes. But really, I'm the one who's going to be getting the interference from you guys. And I have no recourse to come back and blame and point fingers. They didn't care. I have lived on certain properties, like the one across the street where I used to live was I don't know, a quarter of an acre. I made it work. You make things work.
Right.
And I think it challenges us not only mentally, but what is available. And I also think because of POTA, SOTA, and a few other things that have come out of this hobby in the last 6 to 8 years now, Manufacturers are giving us more things to work with if you need to go the RF way. Now that you have super duper blown speed internet, you can do so many internet dongle devices to still get on the ham radio. But I think from an HOA, or let's just say a small confined space, I think we as hams have gotten very good and very smart, not by watching guys like you, because it helps. Oh, trust me, when I watch your videos, the brain starts saying, do I want to do that? Do I want to try that? It really opens up that whole rabbit hole of saying, let's go down it. Let's plan it out. It's not going to be the same as Bob. I don't want it to be the same as Bob, because what you're doing is going to be a little bit different than what my goals are. But still, you're giving us the inspiration, Bob. And that's what's wonderful about your channel. It really, really is. You don't have to be the HOA. You don't have to be in that same confines as you, or restrictions, I should say, as you.
Yeah. And I'm trying to, the namesake of the channel is HOA focused. I do some things that are very HOA specific. I got a video that's going to drop this week. That's basically, it's an extreme. It's a trash can antenna. It's just a vertical antenna that you close the lid of the trash can and it's gone. You can't see the antenna. There's a very specific place in most homes that are residing in HOA that they want your trash can to be. Well, my trash can's there, and I've got a 17-foot vertical collapsed in there, and then I'm just going to put it up.
I love stuff. That's great. That is great.
Hopefully, it's not in the same can that gets picked up by the truck and thrown in.
This is a special can. Hey, babe, don't take this one out with the trash. This has got my antenna in.
Trash can's on the air.
But all I'm trying to do really is, as many antennas as I show, I can't possibly keep them all up. I try to give people creative ideas. And if this idea isn't what you want to do, take the concept and apply it in a different way. But I also do a lot of antenna videos that, while my channel is HOA Ham, doesn't matter what your situation is, it's a valid antenna deployment. I'm going to be putting a wired delta loop on my roof. And just think about that. If you're a kind of person who you live out in the country and you don't want a tower, why a ham living in the country wouldn't want a tower, I don't know. But maybe you can't afford it. Maybe you don't want it because the XYL doesn't like the sight of it. Regardless, this will be a stealth antenna in the HOA, but it might make sense for a person that has 50 acres of property and has no restrictions whatsoever. Now that assumes it's going to perform like I anticipate it will. But, I also try to do things to help people understand. Doesn't matter whether you're HOA or not HOA. A lot of these ideas are applicable, or they're just a springboard you want to something else that might be more applicable to you.
And most of them, not necessarily hiding from an HOA, but, maybe someone who wants to do radio and doesn't want to put up a tower. Right. It's an alternative to that. You put a flagpole up and run a wire off your flagpole. Right. Not that you're being governed by that, but maybe you don't want a giant, 4-element Yagi in the air or beam antenna in the air, but you still want to play ham radio.
Wait your time.
Well,
I know.
Yeah, but one time I was watching one of Bob's videos. I'm thinking, okay, when he was probably done, he took everything down. Pretty much what I have done when I want to try out an antenna here in the backyard. I'm on the back porch. I've got maybe 7-8 hours of daylight to do this, and I'm going to set it up, play around, see what I can do, and then 8, 9, 10 o'clock, maybe midnight, I'm going to take it down. Yeah. It's the same. It's no difference. But again, it's the inspiration of it's okay to do that too.
Right.
It's okay to do that. Just like POTA. When you think about for POTA, what are you doing? You're setting something up in 10, 15 minutes. You're going to go play, and then you're going to go take it down.
So Paul says it great here. Getting old and don't want to maintain a tower. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just put a Wolf River coil in your backyard, or put a DX Commander up in your backyard, and you're good to go. You don't need a tower. So
get it.
Yeah.
So Mike was the KDMRD. He's the inspiration for POTA. He was my inspiration in a lot of ways. Just learning initially, my POTA started in my backyard. So before I ever went POTA, I probably set up in the backyard 20 times. I took one of my, just a vertical whip or an MPAS 2.0. I set it up for a couple of hours, operated, took it down. When I did my first POTA activation, it was just like I was in my backyard. It was simple. And anybody that's on the stream right now, if you have not done POTA, and you can't get a pile up at your QTH, the pile up is the most fun thing in the world. Get your butt out to a POTA park and enjoy a pile up. There's nothing like it.
I agree.
But work it right. Control your pile up.
It's
control your freaking pile up.
You know, so I love it. You know, I mean this is no disrespect, but I gotta say it. Spread them out, boys. Spread them out. How are we to spread them out? Really? Because
I don't know. Sitting in the same room. It's okay.
Do we have 10 people on the frequency? Do we have 100? Do we have 1,000? How do we spread them out? I mean, I'm the guy who usually waits a couple seconds, 5, 10 seconds. So all of a sudden you try to find that one low. At least you think it's a low of dead air, and then zoom in with your call sign. And that's just one technique. But when they say spread them out, I love it when they say spread them out. How? Yeah. But so let me guess. Was it the stealth antennas that really get your brain going, or is it a variation of a vertical? We're in Bob's rabbit holes. How many rabbit holes you got for the hobby right now? Would you say that you like to go down? Like, what starts piquing your interest?
What piques my interest would be the type of antenna is I couldn't care less. It's how I can pull it off in a way that is stealth. Now, stealth for some, and this is where, people that want to complain about the HOA and throw stones at people like me, or those that choose to live in an HOA are okay with it. I kind of have to think about how I want to deploy, because for some people, I put a wire up in plain sight. My 30-foot wire up to my POTA mast is up constantly because it's a flagpole. The wire's so thin, no one ever sees it. No one ever sees it. So I've got a permanent deployment. Other antennas that I put up, like I said, the trash can antenna that'll be out this Thursday. That was just for fun. And again, it's just to give somebody an idea. If you live in a strict environment where all you can do is put something up at nighttime, then you need something that when it gets dark, you can walk outside and have it up in 3 minutes, play to your heart's content. 20 meters is fantastic at night. Granted, you're not going to be maybe on 10 meters in the middle of the night, but you can get on 20 meters. Some of the other higher bands, maybe not 10, at least not usually, but you can get on 40, and you can do that on a vertical through the night. When you're done, take it down. There were many times I would wake up, before I would start working the day, before I'd get ready to go into the office, I'd be out at 5:30 in the morning taking my antenna down. I put it up at 10 o'clock at night. I played for a couple of hours. I took it down in the morning. I went to work. So if you're in an extreme environment that you have to do that, at least you can get on the air.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, there's always things like digital. There's DMR. I'm a huge DMR fan. Hey, that's not real ham radio. Of course it's real ham radio. From you're certainly doing RF from your radio to your hotspot. I don't do to repeaters here. I'm going through a hotspot. So there's all kinds of ways to skin the cat. So for me, the rabbit hole it's strictly, what can I pull off in a disguised way to give other people hope, to give them ideas? I've had so many people say to me, I just can't do anything. I live in an HOA. It's like, well, tell me your circumstance. And then they tell me their circumstance.
Right there.
You can do this, you can do this, watch this video, watch that video.
Yeah.
And again, for me, it's all kinds of different deployments in all kinds of situations. Some of them you can leave up permanently. I've got a loop antenna 30 feet away from me in my attic. It's okay. It's not as great as if it were out in free space. Nonetheless, I can still make contacts with it. I have a 10-meter dipole in my attic. I've run a random wire in my attic. Now, those of you who want to run in your attic, keep your stuff away from your wood structure. My house is 40 years old, and don't be hooking it up to an amplifier, and don't be running digital 100 watts full duty cycle. People have melted Wolf River coils. You go put stuff like that up in your attic, you're going to be calling the fire department. Use your brain. But you can run digital on low wattage, 20 watts, 10 watts inside an attic. I've run 100 watts in my attic, but I made sure that my antenna wire was insulated it was on a hanger. So It was completely separated from any wood element. So back to your question, Izzo, it's just finding a way to do something different, not for the sake of being different, but because I'd like to keep giving people ideas. I have 50 ideas on a sheet of paper, and I just keep grabbing one a month. I try to do at least one HOA focused video a month. And I just stopped writing down the ideas because it's just another antenna configured in a different way to hide it.
Excellent.
Rob, have you ever had a great point? Ron says, what about apartment dwellers?
That's a great question.
That is a whole other topic of conversation. I put a couple of videos out myself because I live in an apartment. One being I threw an end-fed half-wave. I moved to the 3rd floor so that I would have some space. And then I threw an end-fed half-wave off my balcony and used a bungee cord to attach it to the fence so that I could at least get it tight. And I had an 80/10 end-fed half-wave in there. And then I also built let's see, Callum put out a video about linear loading a dipole. So I have a linear loaded dipole that's on my patio now, stretched out. So I mean, there's ways to do it, and I think probably one of other than HOAs, I think one of the most unserved people in the hobby are those that live in an apartment and coming up with options, because you see people that want to put like a loop antenna in their living room. And they want to key up on 100 watts in the middle of it and talk on the radio. It's like, that's probably not the safest thing to do. But we should probably come up with some sort of options. Hey, put a Wolf River coil out on your patio. It'll work. You can attach it to the railing, you know. So I'm glad that you've taken on the mantra of the HOA stuff. So, and then on a side note, you have all of the backyard portable stuff that can be modified to fit an apartment dweller.
Right. Yep, for sure. Yeah, and apartments, I would say apartments or high rise, that is probably one of the most difficult nuts to crack. And I have some ideas I'm going to be working on. But if you have a balcony, you've already nailed that. Almost, if you go onto any social media, which I hate social media, just getting it out there. I'm on Facebook because I'm a YouTuber. I hate Facebook. That being said, you go out there onto any of the channels, groups in Facebook around ham radio, if you can stand the abuse, and you go ask the question, what do you do when you live in a high rise, or if you have a balcony, what's the best thing? 99 out of 100 people are going to tell you put a loop out there. And so that's a very common solution. But if you're in your house, maybe if you're inside, you don't have a balcony, that's a little bit more difficult. I'm actually going to start experimenting with some wire antennas that are on an outside wall in my home. I'm in a single family dwelling, but I can still put up a wire on an outside wall inside my home. I'm just going to see what can happen with that. Now, again, it's not going to be a dipole at proper height, right? And in free space, but I've put an off-center fed dipole on the ridge of my roof in an L configuration. And I did pretty darn good with it. Excellent. And you mentioned, Izzo, you mentioned Whisper. I've tried to do multiple modes. When I first started, all I knew was the single sideband voice, right? That to me, that is still the most fun thing to do for me. And then I thought, well, people like to know if you could do digital with some of these crazy antennas I can do. Of course, I can demonstrate voice. So then I picked up Whisper, and I use dedicated Whisper transmitters. I'll sometimes do those for antenna tests between two antennas with one variation. But a lot of times it's just to take my crazy HOA version of an antenna configuration and show that it can make digital contacts. And then somebody chimed in, Whisper can make a horrible antenna look good. All right. Granted, it only takes 2 milliwatts or something, some ridiculously low power level output for Whisper. So now I've learned FT8. When I say I've learned it, I'm just getting by. I can see when I've completed a queue, so I can see when someone's responding to my CQ. I can barely understand. I don't really understand PSK report or some of the settings to get it to show exactly what I want, but I'm limping along with it. So I'm now starting to show all three versions in my videos to show people, here's the antenna. It's compromised. Granted, it's compromised. Conceded. Quiet already. I can do single sideband voice. I can do Whisper. I can do FT8. What else do you want?
Right.
It's funny you mentioned that word compromise, because I had I'm blessed. I was blessed. I come from my grandfather got licensed in 1933, and I was the only one in the family back in the early 70s, hanging out in the shack, looking at the whole geography of it, and he one of his things to us was everything is a compromise.
Yeah.
Everything is a compromise. That antenna, unless that antenna is resonant for the band that you want, a mono band, everything else is going to be a compromise. The voltage on it, everything is a compromise, and don't get caught up into the whole marketing. Of this is the best antenna. Just put up the best antenna that you can for your situation.
Right?
And now again, he was going back and forth from CW to sideband, had greater success when he was down in Florida back in the mid 90s, loading up the rain gutter like you have and others.
Mm-hmm.
I get it now. I get it as a ham that, and man, I wish he was still alive so I could say, oh my God, you're right. I get it now. I get it now, because when you get out in whether it's your backyard or into the POTA parks and you're trying various antennas, you're really learning. You're between the propagation of the day, because you can't control, the sun. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control how many people are out there. Who's working, who's retirees, who has a day off in the middle of the week. It is what it is, but it's a compromise, and don't raise the bar. Just be careful. Again, have fun with this whole hobby. I got to ask you, and maybe other people are thinking the same thing too, so we're just going to throw it out here. Have you ever had a problem? You're setting up an antenna, and I don't care what it is. It could be the most simplest, what you think is invisible, but somebody out there who thinks you're kind of kooky, and what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Walks over, or has got the binoculars, or they're kind of like they're walking around, but they get to your property and they slow down and they pretend they're not looking, or maybe they're just so damn blunt they got the iPhone like this, taking pictures and reporting you to the next board meeting.
Please get away from my fence, man. I've asked you.
No, Joe, bro, you know what I'd be like. Can I help you? I mean, that's the kind of guy I would be. Or what are you doing? Show me, help me. I want to learn from you. Let's have some fun together. But there's other people who are not like us. They're not like-minded like us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a great question. I haven't had that here yet. And I tried to condition my neighbors into this. So when I first started, I mean, in an HOA, if you want to set up a temporary antenna and you put it up, you operate for 3 or 4 hours, backyard portable, and you take it down. By the time somebody's turned you into the HOA, the HOA is knocking on your door 24, 48, 72 hours later. You're like, I was just, I was having an activity just like my neighbor puts up a bouncy house for their kid. What's the problem? Oh, it's down already? Yeah, it was down to 3 hours.
Good point.
So those types of portable things no one talks about, but I should say temporary. And by the way, back to compromised, every antenna is a compromise, 100% Your 200-foot tower with your Yagi that you've got pointed right to who you're trying to listen to, it's a compromise. When your hurricane comes your direction, my porta mast is down in 20 seconds. My wire's wrapped up in 60 seconds. I can get out of town. Your tower, good luck.
Good luck.
If I lived in a place where I could have a tower, would I? Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But everything is a compromise.
Exactly.
So here's what I did to condition my neighbors. I started in the front yard, right in front of the sidewalk where people walk past me. I live on probably a quarter acre. So it's house. They're every freaking place. And so what I did was I set up a small Wolf River coil, not the full size, the mini, and I put a short whip on it. And I just went out there and started tuning my radio, and I sat out there in the lawn chair and so, hey, neighbor walked by, hey, you're talking to Mars, and so people would come by and ask, and what I did initially with my neighbors when they actually asked seriously, so what are you up to? And I said, well, I'm an FCC licensed amateur radio operator, and I'm testing my equipment for the emergency response that we all use here to communicate with FEMA when a hurricane and an emergency situation arises. I just legitimized myself.
Yeah, and most of them look at you go, wait a minute, we can talk to FEMA with the radio? What?
So,
What is that?
so I didn't go, yeah, I'm a ham radio operator. And, or what some people want to do, they get on my channel and they say, well, you just, tell that person you're going to sue them. And listen, if that's you, have at it. I'm not going to.
Good luck.
I made myself a friend in the neighborhood. I let them know that I am preparing to be the one that can communicate for them. We just had Helene. And what was the other jerk that came through here in the form of a hurricane? Milton. My front yard was a disaster. No damage to the house.
Good.
Through our neighborhood, we still have huge piles of trees and debris. The devastation down here, guys, is just unreal. It's been tough to watch. We made out well, but so when I tell my neighbors that I'm the guy you come to when the grid goes down, that I think that kind of softened the blow. Now, if I had a Karen that lived next door who just wanted to be a pain in the butt, what would I do about that? I would focus on my stealth, right? I'd be only putting up my stealthy antennas, not the ones I can put up and take down. So I haven't had that problem. I guess I've been a little bit fortunate. One of the neighbors behind me, because I can see in his back porch, he can see in mine. That's why we have shades and blinds. And that's just the size of our neighborhood. And that's just how things are here, where when you live in a densely populated city, that's just how it is. He came over and he got interested in it and he started asking me questions and he wanted to know more about it. My neighbor on the other side of me used to power up CBs past legal limit. So he kept telling me, get an amp and do this. So some of them, they just wanted to egg me on, and others, I kind of educated
hold my
them.
beer. I'm going to order my Mercury 3.
And Bob, we all know a lot of times it's how you respond, how you say it. How you say it is a lot of ways. Listen, I get there's a lot of people who want to say, go get the lawyer, sue him, and this and that. You know what I say to them? If that's how you want to spend your money, you go for it. All I know is I'm going to take that lawyer money, and you know what I'm going to buy? More antennas, more radios, and I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it because they're not going to take me to court. That's just a whole big toughy bully intimidation guide. Guess what I'm going to do? Like I said, I got better things to do, like play radio and buy stuff.
Exactly. So. And if you have to, if it gets that extreme where you live, if it got that extreme, I have my attic. I can operate from my attic. My house was built at a point in time where they weren't using that foil barrier.
Radiant barrier. Yeah.
Thank you. Radiant barrier. If you have a radiant barrier, you've got a Faraday cage. Don't bother setting an antenna up in your attic. I don't have a radiant barrier, so I can operate out of my attic. I put wire antennas on my roof. They just disappear. The wire just disappears in the shingles.
Blends right in.
So, yep. If I got desperate, that's what I would do. But I will say this. You should try to make friends rather than try to bully people, because, and this is where on my channel, I haven't put this video out yet because I can't find a way to do it without getting angry and just letting them have it.
Letting loose.
OTAR does not protect you, people. Stop saying that OTAR protects ham radio operators. Over the air reception devices, not transmission devices. So OTAR, out the window, worthless. The Amateur Radio Parity Act of 2019 was introduced, never voted on. It is not enforced. It does not protect you. The Amateur Radio Emergency Preparedness Act is just a bill that was introduced. It is not law. It does not protect you. All these people that get on my channel, the FCC protects you. It does not. And that's why every other year, another congressperson comes and they propose a bill to protect amateur radio operators putting up an antenna in an HOA. And the reason they have to do that is because there is no law that protects amateur radio operators. So if you want to get nasty and sue your HOA or your neighbor, the only way you will win is if their lawyer is stupid. Other than that, you're going to lose.
And that is the bottom line.
So go buy a radio. Buy a radio, not a lawyer.
Radio, right?
See, Bob, now you've got me thinking.
Money on a lawyer, right? Exactly. Buy a radio.
The crazy neighbor, bring over some upside down pineapple cake. Go have coffee. I have learned how to take I have been very successful. 99% of the time, there's always one. You always get that one person who right away they want to come at you like they're a bull. And you're wearing all red. They want to come out and attack you. I've seen this in so many situations that I've been in my life. And it's all, once you start talking to them, you calm them down. You bring them down. And next thing you know, your friends, or you can leave friendly. You can leave friendly, and that's the key. And matter of fact, and one time regarding when I was living in, it wasn't a condo, but they didn't like my antenna, and so I said to them, I do emergency work. I wasn't lying. I mean, I'm doing this for fun, but I do emergency work. I wasn't lying, and I said to them, listen, tell you what, I have a network that if you ever had to send a message to a family member 10 miles away or 1,000 miles away, I can get that message through that says you're okay or call me. Do you know the face they made? It was like they saw Jesus Christ. They were like so relieved, like it gave them a whole new, and I was never bothered again. It was just amazing. It was just absolutely amazing. And I walked away from there. I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? But it worked. It worked. So, hey,
that's I put up antennas all the time. I test the antennas all the time. So it's not just, showing HOA tests for various manufacturers. And so I try not to be obnoxious. I put up an antenna, I take it down, and I don't put up anything that is truly, really out there and in your face. And if I do, it goes up after dark. So a lot of times
it comes down at 5:30 in the morning. Right.
That is a great segue.
I'm 20 meters and down, not,
That is a great segue. So, Bob, what is your top 3 favorite antennas?
Excellent question. Excellent.
The ones that work. The ones that work.
Aside from that, and you don't have to name drop, but what are your 3 favorite types of antennas?
I will name drop. Name drop.
Okay, I think he's already name dropped a couple of times, but
there's an antenna out there called it's Gable Radio. Hang on.
I have one of those.
Gable Radio. Hang on a second. So let's see where I'm picking that from, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick that off of my arsenal wall. That's my antenna arsenal wall.
Oh, hold on.
Love it.
You need to explain that wall before you go any further.
Love this.
So what are we looking at here?
So where of course, those of you that do YouTube know that what's behind me is really just a photograph, but that is, okay, I'm pointing that way, which on the screen I'm seeing to the right. That wall is to the left of me. So it's a metal sheet. I don't know, maybe 4 feet by 6 feet, picked it up off of Amazon, paid a stupid price for it, screwed it to the wall. It's magnetic. And so everything I have there is being held on by magnets or Velcro. My Whisper, my Whisper transmitters right here. I have 3 Whisper transmitters. I'll run 2 of them simultaneously. And then this is my antenna. Let me get me out of the way. So this is my antenna arsenal. So this is Gable Radio RPG. This is the big brother to the 7350T and TC. So this is the 7350T and TC. It is a coil antenna. It is one of my favorite antennas because it is so freaking small. And if you watch some other people that have done videos on this, or you get on social media, even on POTA, some of the POTA sites, guys rave about how well this works for its size. Again, it's a compromise, but for its size, it is unreal. So that is one of my favorite antennas for stealth in the HOA because it is so small.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I got to say, when I saw that, I've seen it in one of your other videos, but even tonight, Carlos hit it on the nail. It's like, I just imagine opening up the vault at Bob's house, and instead of military type weapons all over the place, push up masts and antennas and coils and whips.
Yo, Brett, and you know what the killer is? You know what the killer is? Every time I see that wall, when I saw it in one of his videos, I had to pause it and it was replay it, pause it, replay. He's got the ape sticker. He's got that darn ape sticker right there. He's got the sticker. My friend Bob, you are going to get a Ham Radio Clubhouse.
We got to send Bob a sticker so that we can get him on that wall.
He's got a pistol grip Yagi.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Dang.
So that's a teaser. That's a teaser. That's just in test there. No one has seen that yet. You guys are the first. Actually, I think
that ape sticker is it, though. That ape sticker makes it, though.
Yeah, I see a TO sticker in there, too.
TO sticker in there. Yeah.
Sorry, I derailed that.
No
We
worries.
got to get a Clubhouse sticker headed that way.
My second favorite. So these are not in order. So in the list of 3, the second that I'm going to mention is the Chameleon MPass 2.0 system. I love that system because of how quickly it can set up and deploy. That's just one of my favorite antenna systems. That also comes with a 73-foot wire. There was a point in time where that 73-foot wire was my reference, my station reference antenna. I had it out to a utility pole at the end of the road. And finally, one day, my conscience got the best of me and said, I better take that down because I'm kind of violating some law, I'm sure, because I'm hanging it off of a telephone pole. That's when I put the POTA mast in the backyard, and that's where I run my 30-foot wire. But that MPass 2.0 system, the vertical, it's just a very quick setup. And I've already mentioned earlier, I can put a ground spike in the ground in 3 seconds with my hands here in my Tampa Bay soil. It's just that soft. So that would be the second one of the 3. And then the third of the 3 is the Cartena vertical.
Oh, he's pandering now. He done brought out the coffee and ham radios,
You
guys.
better put your hand on the Bible there, Uncle Bob. Come on, tell us the truth. Come on. Because
That's why.
Just because Ape's in the chat doesn't mean you gotta tell him.
That's
why
Ape's
told
in the
him
chat. He's monitoring this non-disclosure and everything they got.
I love building antennas. I love building wire antennas. It's an easy build. I honestly don't even know what this is. Their vertical. This is the Ribicoff. I don't even know the name of it, so they would know.
We all have a version of it. I have the Apollo, I think, which is their infrared half wave. So
mine is the Aries. And I love it. It's a great antenna. You're absolutely. It's a fun, easy antenna. Throw it up, throw it down, and make contacts. It's so easy. It's
first Ribicoff I set up I ever did, and it just worked fantastic. So those would be my 3 that I would say are way up there on the list. But again, you can see my arsenal. I mean, I don't talk a lot about Wolf River Coil. Wolf River Coil will have a place in my heart forever. They were some of my first antennas, and they're just so simple to use. And you can see everything up there is a coil. I mean, other than my matching unit here, everything else over here, they're all coil antennas. Now this is Mad Dog from Australia.
Out of Australia, yeah.
Oh,
great antenna.
This is the big dog. I haven't deployed it yet. I'm going to try to finally get this on 80 meters. He designed the big dog to work with the new Chameleon SS25. And so I'm going to get this in the backyard and see if I can actually finally get something done on 80 meters at nighttime.
Coil antennas are a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. And then everyone says, oh, well, it's compromised, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Unless you have a compromise, unless you have a Yagi that's 200 feet in the air, everything's a compromise. Even that's a compromise. Right. But come on. These coils and the quality that are coming out of most of these manufacturers are fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
Most of the operators,
as well as the Chameleon people, I got to tell you, hats off to the Chameleons people. I saw one of your latest videos. They're making a lot of add-ons. I'm going to call them the Gidgets and the Gadgets. You figure out what you want to do, how you're going to do it, and I have it for you. The hockey park and all these other little things. I think that's very, very smart of them, and the quality is there. The quality is there. So it's sort of, I don't know. I didn't get into this hobby to cry. I really didn't. When I want something, I make sure the bills are paid. You work a little overtime. You do what you got to do. You do what you got to do. But man, it's some quality stuff.
Yeah, the stuff they just came out with, and they're trying to do just that. They're trying to be really modular, and so if you get
that's the excellent answer. I mean. It's modular.
You can end up buying one system and a couple other pieces. The next thing you know, you've got 3 and 4 systems. You get an MPass 2.0. At that point, you get a SS17, or if you already own somebody else's 17-foot whip, an MFJ 1979, or one of the ones from Wolf River Coil. All of a sudden, now you have an MPass light. Get another whip. You've got a tactical delta loop, and oh, by the favorite antenna. Sorry. Tactical delta loop. It has to be 4. The
number 4
is stupid good. Stupid good.
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh!
Now, Bob, when you say stupid good, are you saying your 4 antennas? Is that for on your property, or when you like to go out off your property?
That would be on my property. So now with the Poseidon, I got to set that up in the dark, so to speak. And I did a video where I basically created, my wife and I built a fake coffee table out of some scrap wood in the garage. And I used the center of the table to hide my spider beam mast in it. And the wire was just sitting there in a flower pot. And then of course, I'm demonstrating it in broad daylight. But so the Poseidon, I would have to deploy at night. Technically speaking, I mean, you know what? No, I could do a short-term deployment on any one of them here in my HOA, because like I said, if I operate for 2 or 3 hours, if somebody tells me at the HOA and the HOA comes knocking on my door, they're not coming for a day or two. And then I'm going to go, listen, everybody in this community is allowed to do temporary things in their property. I was having a party in the backyard and it's already down. So what's the complaint? And they would
just party.
Yeah, I was at the table.
Yeah, there you go. The tactical Delta loop is one I would not set up here. I did it to do my testing. I actually compared a tactical Delta loop that was at ground level with the chameleon spike, and then I tested one that was on my POTA mast. I put it on top of my 20-foot POTA mast. So I had one flying 20 feet in the air, one flat on the ground. And of course, my yard is only big enough that basically took up my whole backyard. Right. So you can imagine I did that test at night. The one that was elevated just blew it away. The one that was on the ground, but even the ground one on voice and whisper digital modes was phenomenal. So I have to have 4. I really, really like the tactical Delta loop, but I won't deploy it in my HOA.
Yeah.
It screams, look at me. And that's not what you want to be doing if you're deploying an antenna in an HOA.
Exactly.
I really get worried about our neighbor Bob. He keeps walking outside with the flashlight.
I'm walking the dog.
God, that's totally going to be the intro to the podcast.
But Bob, you got me wondering. I wonder if I could actually tune up the radiant heat barrier that's in my attic.
Just
a big sheet of metal, right?
You're spot on. Someone's asked me, I've got a metal roof. Will that work?
Nope. Yeah, that'll work.
I bet you hook a wire to it and you can get receive.
I will tell you.
Transmit. I don't know what the pattern's going to look like.
A G90 will do it. I mean,
we'll tune it.
An LDG will a few times. Yeah. I had a buddy up the road loaded up the metal roof of his shop. I forget what size shop, but it done it 2 or 3 times and then let the smoke out. It quit working, but worked for a little bit.
Oh, hi, Joe Brad. Glad you could join us from your top secret location.
Oh, hey, Shane. Glad you got it back from the bathroom.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Again? Good Lord.
Got to drain those kidneys.
I really threw it off the rails.
I know, right? It's like,
Bob's outside again with the flashlight. Trying to bring it back here.
As you can see, I'm pretty passionate about this stuff. So sorry if I get out of hand.
No, you're good. You're good.
The crowd loves it.
Yeah, right, it's us wrecking the whole show.
All right, Bob. With our antics. All right, I'm gonna put us back on the rails for a second.
All right,
Bob. So it's gonna put us back on the rails.
I'm gonna put us back on the rails. It's gonna snow in Connecticut. Bob, you're driving to work. What do you run now in your vehicle? Are you running a portable? You're running a mobile radio? What kind of antenna? What are you doing for ham radio, if anything?
Yeah. Believe it or not, just the FTM 400. Great radio. It's a shame they had to discontinue that, probably because of component availability, I would guess. But fantastic radio. Love that radio. That's what I'm running. I don't have an HF rig installed. I carry my G90 with me all the time. G90 is always in the vehicle with me, and I have 2 HF antennas with me always if I want to just sit in the parking lot during work and operate. In all honesty, and I'll hang my head in shame, I have not really grounded my vehicle properly. When I turn on the HF rig, it just goes bonkers if my vehicle's on. So I tried to do some cheats, some simple ways. I thought I had it conquered, and I didn't. The FTM 400, I have a window. I have a window antenna. Before anyone throws any stones at me, it's not through the glass. The mount is double-sided tape to the window, and then I've got a coax that snakes down between the bed and the cab and comes through an opening in the truck. Mm-hmm. So my FTM 400 antenna isn't touching any part of the metal of the truck. And for whatever reason, I don't have any feedback on my FTM 400. It doesn't matter what HF radio I put in there, I get feedback.
Now, you said do you still have the ICOM 705?
I do, yes. One of my favorite radios.
Same here. The Zygu.
Yes.
What do you think?
G90.
I mean, they're not exactly they're not exactly the same radio.
Yeah. I would here's what I this will tell you what I think of the G90. I would recommend it to a new ham. Someone who's trying to figure out whether they want to get into the hobby. Reason being,
100%,
low financial outlay. If they're trying to figure out if they want to get into the hobby by yourself, a G90, 20 watts. What is it? I'm not the technical guy. Is that just one S unit under a 100 watt radio? Something like that.
60 be half an S unit. Yeah,
we'll
about
have to
that.
ask Abe's in the chat. He'll correct us.
One to 2 S units.
Abe listening.
Right.
It's one to 2 S units.
Right.
It's 1 to 2 S units.
So it's not QRP. It's not 10 watts. And oh gosh, don't get me. Going to come back to that in a second.
I was going to ask him. Does he say operating QRP?
QRP. That's Ape's thing. You know, you scroll in there with the QRP weak voice to try to get someone to have pity on you. So I mean, the G90 is an inexpensive radio. So if someone's trying to figure out if they want to get into the hobby, it's a low cost entry to get in, unless they already know, right? They already have friends or relatives, and they already know, so they want to sink $1,000 or more into a radio. That's fantastic. But the G90 will get you started at 20 watts. You can make contacts. It's not that complicated of a radio. I didn't understand the G90. I saw before I bought one. I watched all the videos and like, who cares? I mean, I've got my 991A, I got my 705. I'm thinking to myself, what's the hype about? And I got one. I'm like, holy crap. I get it now. Now I know what the hype is about. This is a cool radio. So to me, I think that's what I would recommend to people getting into the hobby if they are uncertain, if it's something they really want to pursue, because it's low cost of entry. And if they don't like it and they can't get their full money out of it, which they'll probably get pretty close to it, they don't have a great loss. And it's not a QRP radio, so it's not like they're going to be overly frustrated, trying to operate QRP and not be able to make any contacts. So that's what G90. If somebody were a new ham asking me what radio they should start with, that would be the radio I would recommend to them. That's my opinion.
And you can tune up anything. So if you need a random wire, whatever, the tuner on the G90 is fantastic. Mike has
FX4CR, 20 watts, tiny radio, palm of my hand. So you want to rant? Here's a rant. BG2FX, I think is the guy's call sign over there in China. He is eating ICOM and Yaesu's lunch with the hundreds of engineers that they have. What on earth are they doing that they can't produce a small radio with 20 watts? You know what it is. We already talked about it. There's not that big of a difference in S units. So they know if they produce a small radio with 20 watts, what are they going to lose? They're going to lose the ability to sell their 100-watt radios. So people who hate radios coming out of China, this is the best thing to come out of China ever from ham radio.
Is that the FX4CR?
This is the FX4CR. Matter of fact, this is the latest
558.
Latest model. $558.
Yeah, maybe does it have a built-in tuner?
No built-in tuner. So
that's the only thing I liked about the G90 is it has the built-in tuner.
Yeah. So either you got to go resonant or go with a small external tuner and no internal battery. My point is, we've got one guy over there with whoever he's subcontracting, maybe some of his design and software too, who can make a tiny 20-watt radio. And anyone who has this thing, you get on the forums and you watch the videos, this is a radio that people love. And, ICOM and Yaesu need to be paying attention to stuff like this, but they'll never do it. They'll never, ever produce a 20-watt radio.
Shane, our buddy Kevin from Iowa, K0KLB.
Oh, yeah.
He loves it. Yeah.
Yep. I put a link to it in the chat. Those that might be interested in it, the FX4CR.
Bob, what are you using
display and
for
everything looks
battery
fantastic.
Power? Bob, to interface these radios, what are you using for battery power?
I'm usually using Bioenno.
Okay, cool.
Something Same small here. That matches the size of my radio.
Excellent.
On my FX4CR, I don't have it with me now. I'm using Shargeek. Can't remember which model. You're going to think I'm crazy. Hang on a second. It's going to take me 20 seconds to go grab this.
One miss.
He disappeared behind the green screen.
Oh, it is just like the Wizard of Oz. I'm telling you, the man behind the curtain.
Right?
So this is a Shargeek Storm 2.
Tell us more, Bob.
Yes, what is that, Bob?
Stupid expensive. But this will output. This will out. Yep, those are Samsung. I think they're Samsung cells. They're high quality.
18650s.
Are they 18? Yep, they are 18650s. So it's got a user interface here, which is incredibly intuitive. But this has 2 USB-Cs, one USB-A, and a barrel port. So you can charge phones, cameras simultaneous to running ham radio gear. This barrel port is voltage selectable. You can change the voltage output on this. So when I want to show off my FX4CR, I am normally traveling with my Storm Geek 2 because I can charge my phone while I'm operating. I can charge a camera if I'm doing any video. But like I said, they're stupid expensive, but it's an incredibly versatile piece of gear. I have to take a trip up to Pennsylvania. It's where my family's from. I have to go visit mom. This is the only battery I'm taking with me. Of course, my FX4CR is going with me.
Is the FX4CR, is it the one that has like the incredibly specific voltage that it needs?
No, okay. It has a range.
I think there was there's another QRP radio that you couldn't hook it up to a lithium iron phosphate battery because it puts out too much wattage. And I think Mike has a video on that because he recently started using this little QRP radio but it only does digital modes. It doesn't do sideband or anything like that. So I didn't know if the FX4CR was the same way. Yeah, Mike, the QMX radio.
All right, so Mike is insisting that it's got to have a link or it didn't happen. So
look out!
If it's an affiliate link, drop it.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
I actually did a video of the FX4CR using this specifically. So it's probably 6 months ago. You can check back through the channel if you search FX4CR. I have a couple videos on it, and I show specifically why using the Storm Geek 2 is my preference.
That's cool.
You have me intrigued now. Very intrigued.
Did you really share a link?
We're spending Izzo's money.
I am on YouTube on one screen, and it doesn't look like the link came through.
I was just making sure you was on the right channel.
Sure says I am.
I gotcha. I don't think he's a mod.
I see it in there, but okay.
Hey Shane, can we make a motion? Can we just put it over with?
I have a motion about 3 times a day.
Motion and ocean.
Oh, but if you're talking about a motion to add Bob KD4VMG,
that's what I'm talking about.
As a honorary member of the Ham Radio Clubhouse, yes, I will make that motion to join the ranks.
What's it going to do to me? What's the prize? What am I in for?
Joe Brett, tell him. Joe Brett, tell him the.
Wait, tell him what it's won.
Well, Bob, welcome to the Ham Radio Clubhouse, where your membership gives you nothing,
and not a damn thing,
and your fees are automatically billed and deducted from your subscription without your knowledge.
Oh, that's fantastic. Sign me up.
Your royalties are now 5% ours. That's not our choice. N1JUR corporate office put that in there. So,
as well as you're no longer guest, your family, and you got to come back You got to come back every once in a while. You can't. This is not a hit and run. This
allows you to knock on the door and say, "Hey, I want to talk about something, or I just want to hang out. Let me back on." We get you back in.
Fantastic.
All right.
Absolutely fantastic.
All right, now because
it's really just a way for us to keep up with who the hell's been on the show.
Yeah,
right. That's all it is. It's all for accounting purposes.
We're at the 20-minute mark, and it is time for lightning round.
So Izzo, are you ready?
Ding ding ding.
Izzo, it is time. I wish I needed audio. Ding 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 ding. Lightning round time.
We need a drop.
All right.
I know.
Won't give us that.
We can give away radios, but we can't get a soundboard.
So, Bob, because you have now agreed to become a member of the clubhouse, there is a requirement that you answer the following questions for the part of the initiation requirement.
Go for it. Or you'll get a random bag of dicks sent to you.
Yeah.
Courtesy
All
Shane.
right. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready. Bring it.
The first thing that comes to your brain is your answer.
Okay.
Chicken, fish, or steak?
Steak.
All right.
Now wait a minute.
You
said chicken first, so chicken had to come to his brain first. That's you got to be more
you
clear
can't
on
say
that.
them all at the same time. Something's got to be first.
Fish, steak, or chicken?
Steak.
And how do you like your steak?
Medium.
I can go with that. All right.
Let me ask you this: does it matter? Does it change whether it's medium rare, or depending on the thickness of the cut?
Good point. What cut do you like, Bob?
Insert Jeopardy sound here.
New York strip. It's my favorite.
Oh, that's a great cut.
Okay.
That's a great cut.
So you go out for dinner, or you're at home. What's on the plate with the steak? Give me the ideal. This is your last meal, Bob. This is what you want.
Oh, my last meal.
But it's got
to would have to be some French fries and some spinach artichoke dip.
All right.
Okay.
Not bad. Not bad.
With some pita chips.
Favorite ice cream?
Sure. Favorite ice cream? Mint chocolate chip.
No, not a Rocky Road fan. All right.
Yeah.
That's respectable.
Well, my favorite ice cream is actually ice cream.
I love it. I'm with you there, buddy.
All right. Do you like barbecue potato chips?
No.
Oh, look at this.
No
wonder why I like this guy.
All right, Bob, it's great having you on. We'll
Hell
see you
no,
next
Bob. We'll see you next
Good night,
week.
everybody.
We'll see you next week. You can have Shane's corner. You can have Shane's corner up there.
You can't take away my friend.
Why mess with the taste of the lard? I want the taste of the oil, the lard. Don't disguise that with some fake barbecue powder.
Wow.
So, all right. So what is your favorite flavor of potato chips then? Is it sour cream and onion? What is the favorite?
Lord, he just told you.
Plain old Grandma Utz's potato chips. From,
look at that, because he's from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania is.
In a pit, I'll go with Cape Cod because they're also
crunchy. Yep.
He's siding with that Connecticut guy up there.
On my dinner plate better darn well be well done, crunchy.
I used to sell French fries. I sold potato chips, and I knew from my friends from Pennsylvania, it was that and pretzels. Pretzels are famous in Pennsylvania. So there you go. So
is there the Utes?
The Utes, because no, the Utz.
Yeah. Or
the Utz brand. Utz brand was famous.
Yeah.
All right. Last question, Bob. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Don't overthink it. What's your favorite band?
Overthink it.
What's your favorite band?
Favorite band? It's a band called Newsboys.
Oh, nice. Whoa! All right.
Stepping right up to the microphone.
He won.
Step up to the microphone.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. What kind of genre are they? Like, what are they?
Christian rock.
Excellent.
So where Izzo was hoping you would go is, what is your favorite ham radio band?
And then I will follow through with saying, what is your favorite?
We'll go with music band, because most of us like to hear that first.
We like to hear that first.
I've noticed you ain't been able to get people on that question in a while, man.
He's losing it.
Because they've been watching the show.
That's true.
There you go.
That is
Someone
very
whispers
true.
in their ear and say, hey, listen, towards the end of the show, Izzo's going to ask you these questions.
I think we got to start reviewing replays.
Cheat sheet.
See if you're insinuating a little too much.
Somebody send a cheat sheet.
All right, but how about? But what about? Now you're a sideband guy, not a CW guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the itch to learn CW, and I started, and then hurricanes hit, but yeah, I'm sideband. I'll just say it. I'll make half the crowd angry. I don't get FT8. I don't get the draw to FT8. That said, you'll never hear me in any video trashing it.
That's
because, like I said, it's different. You know, there's a
different
variety
for
for
different
everybody.
Folks.
I will definitely
For me, it's the ability to have another mode of testing the validity and capability of any antenna.
Yes.
But I just like sideband. I love having a box attached to any antenna that I put up, attached to a battery that I installed, completely independent of the grid, and being able to talk to people around the world. That blows my mind.
Yep.
That's the intrigue to me.
I love just being able to hear someone's voice 7,000 miles away.
Hello,
That's the intrigue for me. Or more, yeah.
Yeah. So my heart is with sideband voice. That's just what I like.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I will rock the hell out of some FT8 when I go to the campground, and the noise is so high I can't make sideband contact.
Yeah.
And I can rock some FT8. Plus, I get to see how set the antenna up in different directions.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
I was gonna say, or you're sitting there with your friends and you're hanging out with them playing FT8 at the same time.
Yeah, or you can put it on full auto and just do whatever you want to do. Go to town, get something to eat.
Mike says, I love hearing Aurora flutter. Well, that's not the one. On 6 meter CW. So, see, all right, I get it. But see, he was able to make contacts when we were in Yellowstone where I was not. So it happens.
He also made a contact with Fiji on 30 meter from Alabama.
Pretty much, yeah. N1JUR, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Insert corporate tagline here: live free and ham Clubhouse. Thank you guys for the support.
I have a question of my own.
Right.
Bob, have you been on Coffee and Ham radios?
I have.
I thought you have. I was pretty sure. So now I wonder, which show's more fun for you to be on? We knew it. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, we're all friends here.
Shots across the bow there.
I don't know. I haven't seen Ape comment for the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Well,
He's still here.
you know what?
It's the same spot. It's the same space.
When Ape meets me at the flagpole like he asked me to do several years ago, then we'll worry about Ape's opinion.
I'll answer that question honestly. This has been a blast tonight.
Good.
When I think it's been probably well over a year and a half since I was on Coffee and Ham radios. As I have been doing my channel for now, he's there.
Oh, yeah.
As I've been doing my channel for, I don't know, maybe 2.5 years now, I'm an introvert. Can you tell? I am give me a book, give me a radio, let me alone. Don't need, people stress me out. No one would ever know I'm an introvert. So when I first started, and I was probably on Coffee and Ham radios pretty early on, it's pretty intimidating to come on a live show like this with a lot of personalities and be yourself and be open. I've become much more comfortable with myself and my channel. I have been very comfortable just letting it all hang out here. And so that's been freeing and fun. And I couldn't do that when I was first on Coffee and Ham radios because I was still pretty new in what I was doing.
I get it.
Great guys over there. They have a fantastic community.
They do.
Just like
they talk a lot more ham radio than we do.
I want to tell you one more thing about that Ape real quick. Let me talk since he's still here and listening.
Oh, if he's still watching.
Oh, he's still watching. All right.
I am now officially a real ham ape.
Oh,
look
there
at
it
that. Look at that.
Hey, that's a collector's item.
That happened during the
collector's
bathroom
item.
break.
The last one off of Amazon. It just came today.
I just want to tell. I just want to put this out here. If any of y'all run into the ape somewhere in this mythical flat Earth, and happen to run into him, and be careful if you offer to pay for his meal and you was running a little late getting there. Because the man didn't say nothing about he done had 3-course meals before I even got there.
You said you might go for the pork chop sandwich. Woo! You didn't say anything else.
Gee, I thought he ordered like $10 worth of food. No, he done ate 3 times before I got there.
Oh goodness. John said thanks for the $5 super chat. Says we all sound like Joe Brett on FT8. You ain't kidding there, son.
There you go.
TC Fitz with a $20 super chat. Thanks for the happy Tuesday, buddy. Happy Tuesday to you. We look forward to seeing you around more often, because I believe we missed a few weeks. I haven't seen a TC Fitz in the chat.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
The Smoking Eight says congrats, Bob. with your
Manual tuner,
manual
yeah.
Manual tuner. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, that's what YouTube's for,
We'll
thankfully.
figure it out.
There we go. Oh, I can't watch Ape's video on him because he just tears stuff apart and measures it. I need to know how to tune with it.
He's just going to tell you how dirty it is.
T.O.'s got you there. He'll actually teach you how to use it rather than just shame you for not having it.
He'll bring you on Monday night without reading
Monday night
instructions.
Right.
And nuggets on how to use
And it'll take 5 shows. It'll
Here's
take
your
5
next
shows, but we'll get to it.
You know how
Here's
many
your next nuggets episode.
You know how many handheld radios I'm ashamed to walk around with because Ape and Jim and all this? I can't take them out in public no more.
Don't watch.
But if I do, I make sure I leave the Roger beep on.
Oh God. Please don't.
So that's kind of a little funny story. So not this year at Huntsville, but last year at Huntsville, I had a 511 bags, got all the molly straps on it and stuff. So I stuck like every overseas handheld I had on
That's
the mollies.
China. You can say China. It's
Whatever.
okay.
And I had shoulder mics for some of them too. And I can't see which mic I'm grabbing, but they're all tuned to the same frequency. And I'd be dang if I didn't grab the one with the Roger beep. And boy, that stirred up some stuff.
You just wait. Next time I'm around you guys, I'm going to leave my Roger beep on.
Oh.
Before and after.
Before and after. Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
And you're going to hear it on 200 different frequencies.
And YouTube channels. There's this guy who had that Roger beep on the whole time he's in Huntsville.
The following week after Huntsville.
Right.
Mike in
they'll post it at Huntsville.
Good idea.
Uh-oh.
He can take his manual tuner and learn on Monday Night Nuggets. It's going to take 2 or 3 weeks of, 2 or 3 shows, but you can learn it on Nuggets.
There you go.
I got to go fix a light. Hang on here.
Why you got to fix the light? We're done.
I got to go fix a light. Hang on.
All right.
Hey, so we're fine, Izzo.
Let's start. We'll start putting a bow on this thing. So, Bob, what do you got coming up, man? It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. You're welcome anytime you'd like. But it's been a pleasure getting to know you, getting to know your channel and the things that you guys are interested in, the things you're putting out on YouTube. So, Thank you so much for that. But what do you got coming up? You'd like to promote? And we'll start putting a bow on this thing.
Well, I mentioned earlier, we got a video coming out Friday on trash tenna, right? So it's just having a little bit of fun with it, being able to use a trash can here in the HOA that's sitting right where my HOA wants to see my trash can. It just happens to have a 17-foot vertical pre-set up with radials already spread out. So again, just to give people an idea of what they can do. And of course, I do a single sideband, some FT8 and Whisper on that. I'm doing just a really quick recommendation to people on where they should purchase scanner gear. I just picked up
good topic.
an SDS 200 about 3 months ago. Scanner Master. I have an SDS 100 and 200. The video is only 5 minutes long. It's one of those ones that people are going to give me thumbs down and hate me because I'm saying, hey, I have an affiliate link here. But I'm trying to say, support this company. I'm a buy once, cry once person. I bought my SDS 100. I checked every box. Give me NXDN. Give me DMR. Give me 4 counties. They complied. That was a different company that will remain unnamed. When I bought my SDS 200, I did the same thing with Scanner Master. The next morning when I woke up, because I think I hit the buy button around midnight, when I woke up the next morning, I had an email and a voicemail all saying you don't need NXDN, you don't need DMR based on where you are. And one of the 4 counties you've asked for, you don't have any access to them. Let us give you back some of your money because we don't want to charge you for things you can't use. Wow. They didn't know I was a YouTuber. They didn't know I was HOA ham. They didn't know me from anybody else. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the kind of people we want to work with.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
So that's Scanner Master. And then like I said, I'm the next one that'll probably be out in a month, maybe a little bit longer is I want to put a wire delta loop on the roof. And I got that idea. You saw me kind of get excited when I realized I needed 4 antennas, not just 3. And I wanted to, talk about the tactical delta loop. I was setting up the tactical delta loop in the backyard one day. And as I'm setting it up, all of a sudden I look up at the roof and I'm going to myself, I wonder if I could take this I'm a paradigm person. I call myself, I'm bipolar. I don't mean that technically. I'm not diagnosed, but I tend to think I'm black and white. So I think, I've got a delta loop. Let's put that delta loop up in the attic. And then I'm sitting there for 5 minutes trying to figure out how to do that. You idiot. Put wire up there. Put wire up in this. What's wrong with you? So I'm kind of excited about that. I want to see what it will do. So that's just have the materials. I've got the location. I got the plan. Now I just have to go get the X360 out there and fly my drone and get the video going.
There you go. Well, links to Bob's channel is going to be in the description of this video. So thank you guys for doing that, and drop him a subscription. He has some fantastic content.
Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter too.
Unbiased. Fantastic content. So keep it up, Bob. Thanks for coming in tonight. We really appreciate you. Don't go.
I had a blast. Thank you.
Yeah. Steve, over to you, buddy.
Yep. Just getting ready for the Hawaii trip.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. For you, Joe. Hopefully I can get a couple of videos done before I go, but probably not.
Well, we'll definitely see it afterwards if you don't.
Yep.
Joe Brett, he said he would be here next Tuesday when he's in Hawaii. So let's see.
It'll be like 2:00 in the afternoon for him.
Yeah, it will be. It will be.
All right, over to you, Izzo.
I got tomorrow off, Thursday off, so we're gonna try to do a POTA day. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it tomorrow, but probably Thursday in the parks. Look for me on the POTA spotting page. If you don't want to be bothered and get bothered with me, put me in your ham alert, and we'll just have some fun. So that's
Are you insinuating that ham radio is fun?
No,
yes, it is.
Never.
Yes, it
is. Is that what you're saying?
It's one of the F words I like to use.
It's the best F word out there. I agree. Joe Brett, thank you for dropping in after your top secret FBI.
Glad you could have
your FBI case there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Good. What do you got coming up, man? Anything?
Man, I had a busy. It's been busy around here. Work and at home. Let's see. We did some painting. We installed a new little fireplace. I ain't got to that yet, Steve. What else did we do? I mean, like last week, I replaced the radiator. We went through that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and I still managed to come out here and fulfill my obligation to Tesman and put out a little video. It's a nice little 3-minute commercial.
I'm glad you did, because mine's still sitting right over there. I still got to do mine.
Yeah, get that out of the way so I can start on some other stuff. But and got some more stuff coming in. I was like, I don't know. I'm going to fit in cookware and shoewear and stuff, with ham radio somehow. I mean, you got to walk in the park, right? You need shoes, and
right.
If you're camping overnight, you need some good cookware.
And you got some POTA Crocs coming up.
I was just going to say, you got to have some Crocs for that.
You got some POTA Crocs with some.
I was careful. James might make them.
Right.
That's right. With some of that bling bling on them.
All of your ground radio system is attached to your heel.
Yeah. No, I did get a new toy, a new RF toy, and I'm thinking about making a video kind of ranting about it a little bit, but it's cool. It's just we need.
Oh, I saw
we
that.
Need some more. We need some more folks from this circle involved, and so
that's true.
I'm studying on it a little bit. So,
well, I'm good to see you back, man.
Thanks. It's good to see all y'all.
Glad you made it in. Well, my name is Shane, and I won't have a video out for quite some time because I've got too much other shit going on. Shocking. Insert your shocking face here. But I do have videos to make, and I do have some obligations to fulfill to get those taken care of.
If the companies are out of business now, but he's still going to.
Right, if they're not out of business by the time that I get the video done, I'm just saying. We'll backdate them. We'll put it that way. But anyway,
there you go.
Got some flying coming up. Hopefully 2025. I'm going to be certified. We'll get some hot air balloon stuff in there. But anyway, that's enough about me. Episode 200 is coming up. You are not going to want to miss that. Be sure and thank you, all of you who are supporting this channel on a monthly basis. Tonight we had Paul, we had Four Wheeling Redneck to JS 1.0, Don, N5SKT. Thank you so much. N1JUR for the super chat. John, WV3L, thank you for the super chat. And TC Fitz, thank you for the super chat. Thank you guys for being here every week and joining us on the podcast. If you're joining us there, we thank you guys. We're going to do the awkward wave 73 to everybody, and y'all have a great week.
73, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I got to hit that other.